Welcome, friends! Today we begin our new Sabbath School journey from the book of Joshua. Lesson 1, Recipe for Success. This lesson is about new beginnings, God's promises, and how faith and obedience bring true success in life. Our memory verse says, "Only be strong and very courageous, that you may prosper wherever you go." Joshua chapter 1, verse 7. Let's walk through this lesson step by step, from Sabbath all the way to Friday. Sabbath afternoon. Introduction. The book of Joshua begins with a turning point. Moses has died. Joshua, his assistant, now becomes the leader. The people of Israel are standing at the border of the Promised Land. They've wandered 40 years in the wilderness. Now, finally, it's time to step into the promise. Here's the key thought. God gives the land, but his people must trust him and step forward in obedience. This is not about living up to expectations. It's about stepping into possibilities God has opened. Takeaway. Just as Israel had a new start, God can give us a new beginning today. Sunday. A new Moses. Joshua is described as Moses' helper, not yet as the servant of the Lord. That title will come only after years of faithful service. But one thing is clear. The real leader of Israel is not Moses, not Joshua. It is God himself. Joshua's strength came from the assurance, "I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you." Takeaway. Leaders may change, but God's presence is constant. Monday. Cross, take, divide, serve. The first chapter of Joshua gives us 4 steps that outline the whole book. Cross the Jordan, take the land, divide the inheritance, serve the Lord. These steps remind us that God acts first. He opens the way, he gives the land, but his people must respond in obedience. Takeaway. Faith is active. When God calls us to move, we cross, we act, we share, and we serve. Tuesday. Heirs of Promises. God tells Joshua, "I am giving the land," and also, "I have already given it." How can both be true? It's because when God promises, it is as good as done. His word is sure, even if the fulfillment is still ahead. The land was a gift, but they had to claim it. We too are heirs of God's promises. His presence is the guarantee. Without him, Israel would be like any other nation. With him, they had a mission and a future. Takeaway. God's promises are certain. Our role is to trust and step forward in faith. Wednesday. Be strong. God tells Joshua again and again, "Be strong and courageous." Why? Because the task was huge. The cities of Canaan were fortified. The people were trained for war. Israel had no great weapons, no war machines. But courage wasn't just about battle. True strength was needed to remain faithful to God's word and covenant. And the same applies to us today. Our battles may be spiritual or personal. Temptations, doubts, pressures. But God's promise is still the same. I am with you always. Takeaway. Real courage comes not from ourselves, but from God's presence with us. Thursday. True success. God tells Joshua that success comes from meditating on his word and obeying it. In the Bible, prosperity is not just about wealth. It is about wisdom, harmony with God's will, and living fruitfully. True success means being rooted in God's word, trusting his grace, and walking in obedience. Faith and law go together. Faith leads us to obey, and obedience grows out of trust. Takeaway. Success in God's eyes is living wisely and faithfully, not just gaining things. Friday, reflection. As we close this first week, let's reflect. Joshua's story reminds us that God's promises are sure. Success comes when we trust God's word and follow His guidance. Courage is needed not just for battles, but for faithfulness in daily life. So here's your challenge. Memorize Joshua 1:7 this week. And ask yourself, what promise of God will I claim for my life right now? Thanks for joining us for Lesson 1.